We are going to be talking 90s and early 2000s nostalgia tonight. As everybody knows, I am 25, so I didn't live through this. I know it. Like
You read a lot of the magazines and
I've
books
read
and
about
everything.
it. I've read about it in a book once. I think my earliest memory was the blizzard of 96. Our neighbor brought an inner tube over to go down the driveway in the snow. I don't know if you guys know how slippery an inner tube is on snow. But we had built up a berm or whatever you call it to try to stop the sleds and stuff, and it worked fine on sleds, like the plastic ones. Of course, because I was the baby, I was like, I want to go first. So they let me, and I go flying down the driveway, and my parents are yelling at me to slow down, and I was like, I can't. And they go, put your feet down. And my little stupid child brain went, I can't put my feet down, I'll go faster. Get to the bottom of the driveway. I went up and over the berm, flew across the road, and my mom is just watching this happen, freaking out because I just flew across the road, and then a car goes by.
So what happens when you hit a grand slam?
A grand slam? Isn't that a breakfast meal at Denny's?
Dude, I haven't had Denny's in so long. It's so trash.
Oh, it's terrible now. They only got worse.
But it's so like good too. That's a nostalgia food right there. Waffle House is trash, but it's not the right kind of trash unless your cook is smoking a cigarette.
Waffle House is really good for letting you know how bad of an emergency it is.
FEMA may not come out and help you, but Waffle House will serve you.
It's the Waffle House scale. Did Waffle House close? No, then we're fine. Denny's is for people too drunk to speak. If you go at the right time of the morning, half the restaurant is drunk college kids and the other half is old people who woke up really early. It's like this fun mix of people that smell like pee. 90 signs you grew up in the 90s. Number 1, you've ended a sentence with the word psych.
Yes.
I feel like that's one of those things now, though, that if I were to be like, psych, I would cringe at myself. Our studio audience at home, wait, I guess they can't be a studio audience and be at home.
We bring the studio to them.
For those of you playing from home, the next thing is, you remember when it was actually worth getting up early on Saturdays to watch cartoons?
Uh-huh.
I remember watching cartoons. I never woke up early to do it.
Kids these days will never fully understand the rush of having to go to the bathroom or get a snack or something during a commercial break.
You had to plan it out just right. So, okay, first commercial break, I'm gonna run it, I'm gonna get my drink. And then the next commercial break, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Your sibling would be in charge of like, you have to let me know when it's about to come back on.
Man, so my sister, like I would ask her to do that too, right? Hey, let me know when the show's coming back on. I'd get up, walk out, and she'd be like, it's coming back on. I'd run back and it'd still be on commercial break.
Commercial would still be on.
I'm like, you bitch.
You remember when MTV only showed music videos?
Yes. What about pop-up video from VH1?
I miss pop-up video. What about those like scented markers that we would get in elementary school? Mr. Sketch, I think is what they were called.
Yeah, I remember those.
It was like always a good day when they brought out the Mr. Sketch markers. But then like they'd bring out other markers and you'd start trying to smell them and it's like, no kids, those aren't.
That's a Magnum marker. Don't smell that.
You always said, then why don't you marry it?
Yeah, I remember saying that a few times. Just a few though, not a whole lot.
Just a couple, 2, 3.
We'd be stupid about it too, because it would be like,
man, this sandwich is so good. Well, then why don't you marry it?
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego was both a game and a television show?
Yes, I remember that fucking game. I think honestly it came in a box of cereal. That's another thing, is getting games at fast food restaurants and in cereal boxes.
I had the Burger King game. It was like the king from Burger King would do weird stuff. The first game I honestly ever remember playing at somebody else's house was a game about the 7-Up dot. And he would like jump around on things.
So I remember the Mr. Pibb game. It was like a very Doom style game, but you obviously didn't run around and shoot people. You'd chug Pibbs and burp in their face.
You got super excited when it was Oregon Trail Day at school.
When it was what?
Oregon Trail?
Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many
Rivers.
times I've died of dysentery or drowned in the river because my caravan was too full.
You know the difference between a noun, a verb, and an adjective thanks to Mad Libs.
Oh yeah, I remember Mad Libs.
I loved Mad Libs, but I don't feel like that's what taught me what those were.
Yeah, I don't think I learned it from those. I think the nuns with their fucking yardstick taught it to me.
That's what I'm
Going
saying.
back to the nuns with you, Duck.
He had that shit beaten into him by an old nun. You knew the dance routine to the Macarena.
I still do. And you
So-
know I'm not gonna do it.
I would say that I still do, but I swear that shit changed. It's like a Mandela effect now. Like the dance is different than how I remember it. So here's what I think happened. I think that they do the dance different in the music video than how we would all do it like in middle school. So going back and watching the music video, I'm like, wait, that's not how I remember doing the dance. You worried your Tomogotchi would get separation anxiety when you were at school.
I used to bring mine to school.
I was gonna say, I took it with me.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know if you remember before they got the mute feature, right? Because like they used to beep and shit.
Yeah.
Like I cracked mine open and disabled the speaker because it would get me in trouble in school.
You debated with your friends how Rose could have saved Jack. And
Dude.
if you have to ask who Rose and Jack are,
She's too young for you, bro.
yeah.
No, there was 100% enough room on that door for both of them.
Didn't Mythbusters do an episode on that?
Yeah.
There was enough room on the door for him, yes. But it would have pushed the door down further into the water, meaning that they probably would have both gotten hypothermia quicker.
No, whatever, man. At least they would have died together. The audacity of this bitch to go back and and relive a booty call? What the fuck?
Bullet Bill was your nemesis on Super Mario Brothers.
No.
I'm trying to remember in Super Mario Brothers who would give me the most trouble.
I would
Easy-
always die to a random fucking Goomba that I would forget was there.
I feel like I fell a lot.
Yeah, and Gravity. Gravity always killed me too.
Gravity was probably my biggest nemesis and still is. Thanks, Gravity. What good has Gravity ever done us? Kids today will never experience the joy you had with your Game Boy.
Right? Or if you were playing in the car on a road trip at night, you had to wait
You'd
for
wait for the
street
street lamp.
lights so you could see what the hell was going on.
So I did not own a Game Boy, but I did do an extended borrow of a friend's Game Boy.
That's code for I
until-
stole it.
Until they asked me to give it back.
Yeah, that's code for I stole it.
Capri Sun, Fruit Roll-Ups, Gushers, and Fruit by the Foot were staples in your lunchbox. You know what? They are still staples in my lunchbox. I will buy them anytime that I can from the store. Not Capri Suns, though. You know what super weirded me out? Was, does everybody remember when it was like that lawsuit came out where the girl like stuck her straw in the Capri Sun and like this nasty like white goo came out?
I remember
Really?
the rat and the Mountain Dew one.
And the finger in the Wendy's chili?
Yep.
But you know how Mountain Dew and the Pepsi Cola company beat that court case? They're like, this was 100% staged because they proved that a rat would dissolve in Mountain Dew in a week and a half.
Oh, that's even worse. It's even worse. They say that like Coca-Cola is good for like cleaning your toilet because it's that fucking acidic and strong.
Yeah. So
I mean,
all
it-
fire trucks that I've worked near being a first responder carry 2 liters of Coke with them because it gets bodily fluids off of pavement really easy.
I'm so glad that I drank like 5 Coke Zeros a day. My insides are strong as shit.
Spotless.
Listen, I start with small caliber bullets to build up an immunity to the bigger ones. Do you remember the magic eye books where you had to like make your eyes go wonky?
I'm thoroughly convinced that's what gave me a fucking stigmatism.
It's very possible. We're all just out here going, "Ugh," like, give me fucking astigmatism, please.
Let me learn how to unfocus my eyes and fuck my vision up for the rest of my life.
Now, like, my vision will just go unfocused without me meaning to, and I'm like, no, like, I gotta like hit the side of my head.
Just hit that reset real quick.
Yeah.
Like smacking the side of the old TV.
I don't understand this word meta. Is this a Gen Z thing?
Yeah, it's like,
It's
what's the
like,
best?
yeah, it's like, what's the current best?
I can't.
Meta.
I can't with these new Gen Z things.
I know, right? Back in my day.
Yeah, I'm taking this entire stream just to prove to everybody how fucking old I am. Might as well make it worse. Kids these days, get off my lawn.
Kids these days.
Babe, we don't have a lawn. We live in an apartment.
Hey, shush. I don't have to be old and poor.
Oh my god.
Let's go back to the scooters. Who has
Oh.
scars on their fucking shins and ankles from that motherfucker?
I do.
I didn't have a Razor scooter. I wasn't allowed to. That's why I'm gonna say that they weren't ever cool because I didn't have one. Next one on the list is you missed the Wonderball. But before I actually read it, I read it as you missed the Wonderwall, and I was like, that was a good song. Is that from the 90s?
Actually, what year did that song come out?
I said maybe. It's
95, so yeah.
okay. So
Yeah, it's
you
nice.
guys missed the Wonderwall?
What is a Wonder Ball? Could someone
Do
explain?
you know what a Kinder Egg is?
Yes.
It's very similar.
But it was
But-
a chocolate ball that was
It was a
hollow.
ball.
So a Wonder Ball is like a food.
And because Americans are stupid, they don't allow you to put toys inside of chocolate because too many kids will choke on them.
Choke.
They used to have toys in them.
Yeah. The only email account was AOL.
Yo.
I do
My
not know what that is.
first-
I had an
Email?
AOL, but I you know what I've rocked for the longest time? An MSN.com email address.
I think my first one was CompuServe. No, I'm just kidding. You really wanted to talk on the phone, but your brother or sister wouldn't get off the internet.
Yeah.
Cannot
Hold on.
relate to that one.
Cue the bunny story of I had two phone lines. One was dedicated strictly for the internet.
I wasn't gonna say it because I've said it multiple times. Everybody knows I'm better than everyone
Did you
else.
drink your tea with your pinky out too?
She
I
still does.
do.
Fancy schmancy.
Pinkies out. You can name every Ninja Turtle and match it with their color.
Yes,
Freaking name them.
I don't know their colors.
I do.
I remember they were all green.
I'm not.
They were all turtles, for sure.
Okay, Leonardo was blue. Michelangelo was orange. Raphael was red, and Donatello was purple.
He can almost name them.
I started on the
got
yeah, Raphael.
They were called
Fuck!
something different in the Philippines, okay? They had different names over there.
Yeah. That's it.
You couldn't resist the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Oh, what about the Quiznos
Yo,
rats?
Taco Bell.
They freaked me out. I did not like them.
Why did Quiznos think that rats was a good idea to
'Cause it
advertise for
was-
their restaurant?
It was dumb, and we loved dumb shit at the time. I just showed Alex one of my favorite commercials ever the other day. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but it was for the Honda
The-
Element.
Yeah.
And it was the one with the little crab, and he comes up. It's just pictures, so it's just a Honda Element and a little crab.
It's
and
like
then
they
the crab
made
was
it in
like,
MS Paint.
I pinch, little pinch. I want to pinch. And then the Honda's like, I got a pot, tongs, and some butter back here if you don't stop. Your favorite book series you loved reading was the Goosebumps.
I liked
That wasn't my
Goosebumps,
favorite.
But yeah, I
Except
don't
for the
think it
ones
was
where
my
you had
favorite.
to
It was not my
jump
favorite.
back and forth through the pages. It
Oh,
just
the
pissed
choose
me
your
off
own
all the
adventure.
time.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember the ones where it was like, my teacher's a werewolf, my babysitter's a vampire, my camp counselor's a
Child.
Okay, all right.
kids will never know how amazing Cream Savers hard candies were before they fell off
Dude.
the face of the earth.
Yes.
Yes.
But now I feel like I don't like candies that mix fruit with cream flavor. But I liked Cream Savers. Maybe it's because that like it ruined it for me. Like I can never have anything as good as that, so I just don't even try.
Yeah.
Nothing ever
Wasn't that
comes
the
close now.
berries and cream?
Yo.
Berries and cream, berries and cream, something
Peaches and
cookie
cream.
cookie, berries and cream. 22 things from the 2000s that will give anyone serious flashbacks.
Okay.
Watching George Lopez on Nick at Night.
George Lopez watched more of me than I watched George
Right,
Lopez because
right.
you always wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, and Lowrider would be on. You're like, oh, George is on TV.
2000s nostalgia is the smell of that very specific plastic that jelly shoes are made of. Something about the smell of that clear plastic really brings me back to being a kid.
Not the smell. What about stepping on a fucking rock in those things?
What are jelly shoes?
They're
It's a
like
thing?
these plasticky shoes. They would give you a callus the minute you put them on your fucking feet because they were the worst things in the world for your feet.
And then Crocs were invented.
Yeah,
I'm gonna piss off a lot of people with that statement.
I don't care what your justification is. I don't care if you're like, I only put them on to take the trash out.
That's what flip-flops are for.
Right? Be a real man. Get your bunny slippers. By the way, we're gonna go back to thinking that I'm 25 now and I know nothing about the 90s or early 2000s. Kayla, you bye.